Hey everyone, Brick Build Brick Films here. Sorry I haven't been active much. School has been sort of kicking me in the rear for the past couple of months and I haven't had a lot of time to focus majorly on big content. I thought I'd make a video to finally return to the channel with content that's slightly out of the ordinary. I've been seeing these iceberg charts pop up on YouTube for the past several months and towards the end of 2020. And I wanted to finally make an analysis video on LegoLover58, user on Reddit's Lego Iceberg. Now this video will sort of be a little bit less, I don't want to say family friendly, but icebergs do tend to get into more disturbing content as the video progresses. Not particularly scary all the time, but it will get into possibly slightly unnerving based on where your level is for that, so watch at your own risk. I wouldn't say anything too terrifying is going to happen in this iceberg, but just be warned. Without further ado, let's get into analyzing this. Now the first thing we have on our list is the Lego Movie, a film from 2014 that's animated and sort of created to look like it's in the style of stop-motion animation. The film basically follows a Lego construction worker who's just an ordinary, everyday Joe, and he becomes prophesized as someone who's called the Special, and he joins a group of people, one of them being Batman, who are a group of master builders to stop someone from basically making the entire universe into a sort of by-the-book, by the instructions type of structure. It has a 7.7 out of 10 star rating on IMDb, and I'm pretty sure everyone who's a minor or major fan of Lego knows about this movie, so there isn't too much to go into detail of here. Next thing up on our list is Lego sets, which is, again, another obvious one. Everyone who's a fan of Lego knows what a Lego set is. It's a box of Legos, comes with instructions, we build it. It's literally the whole premise of Lego. Let's move on. Next thing up on our list, we have another widely known one, Legoland. It's basically like the Disney World of Lego fans. It's got quite a few locations around the world, and it's basically a theme park dedicated entirely to Legos. There's a lot of things built out of Legos there, a lot of Lego themed stuff, and it's honestly just a really cool place. I've never been there myself, but if you look up videos, you'd instantly fall in love with it if you're a big Lego fan. Oh boy, already my favorite number on this list, Lego Star Wars. It's basically a Lego theme that started in 1999 and it's continued up until now. It's had its ups and downs in its line of existence, but it's basically just a theme of Lego sets that revolves around the Star Wars franchise and saga, and has been pretty successful and one of the most popular themes to this day, beloved by many, many fans of Lego. Has a total of 796 sets, and it's licensed by Lucasfilm. Next on the iceberg we have Lego games, which is basically just referring to the numerous Lego video games that Lego, and in collaboration with other companies, have released ever since 1995 up until now. Several different themes have been incorporated, including Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Marvel. Some of the most famous of these games probably being games like Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, Lego Marvel's Avengers, and lots of hype surrounding the upcoming Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga coming out in 2021. Next up on this list we have Lego Minifigures, another really commonly known one that's obvious if you're a Lego fan. They're mostly referred to as a minifig, and they're basically just the small little plastic figures that come in almost every Lego set. They were first introduced by Lego in 1978 and have been really successful and beloved by everyone who's a fan of Lego. And as of 2003 had over 3.7 billion produced worldwide, and they're still used to this day in Lego sets and are the highlights of why most of us buy them. The last thing we have on layer 1 is the Lego house in Billund, Denmark. It's known as the home of the brick, which is referencing to that town of Billund where Lego originally began. It's basically the headquarters of the Lego group. It's a massive building that's meant to resemble a pile of Lego bricks, has over 25 million Lego bricks inside, and is sort of like an attraction like Legoland that people can come and visit and just really enjoy their experience with Lego. It's honestly really cool. You guys should look up videos of it. It's honestly just heartwarming to see if you're a big Lego fan like myself. It's just really awesome to see, and it began on September 28th of 2017. And with that, we've completed layer 1 of this iceberg. Now the first thing on this layer is actually somewhat humorous. It basically just refers to this slight controversy, I guess, of a lot of Lego fans referring to the plural form of the word Lego as Legos. It's basically just a big complication with the adjective used, in that theoretically it's just supposed to be referred to as Lego in all forms and not Legos, rather referred to by the company as Lego bricks or Lego toys and not Legos. It really doesn't matter, but a lot of people make a humongous deal of it. Call it whatever you like. I guess it's just them trying to protect the trademark and patent and whatnot, but it's really not that serious to anyone at this point. Next thing we have is Lego Legacy, which is something that I actually wasn't too familiar with until I saw it on this iceberg. It's nothing too major. It's basically just this battle role-playing game by the Lego Group and Gameloft, and it's basically like a mobile game. It's on the Google Play Store, App Store, Microsoft Store. It was released in 2020. It's literally just a battle role-playing video game. Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed. That's really all there is to it. Next thing up on the list is Lego System, and this sort of goes back to the 20th century mostly. Lego System used to be what was printed on every single Lego box, and while it may seem major, it's just referring to the system of bricks that the company uses that all sort of fit together. They tried to keep all of the Lego pieces and bricks in sort of the same type of quote-unquote system, which is what gave name to the Lego system, that all the toys sort of worked together and they could be built together. No matter how old or how new the bricks were, they'd all match each other in the long run, and that's sort of what the Lego system is all about, that everything fits inside the same system. Next up we have the Lego Island games. It's basically just this computer game that was made in 1997 that had 2 more installments between 2001 and 2002. It's basically just this first-person game that was made for Microsoft Windows, where you go around, complete missions, build things, and customize your own Lego Island. And there's nothing really much else to it. It was just a really early Lego game. This next item on the list was actually the first thing I was completely clueless to as to the existence of. It's Lego Monkie Kid, which is, it's basically this Lego theme that was introduced last year in 2020, inspired by Monkey King and Journey to the West, and it was licensed by the Lego Group, of course. And it's the first Lego theme to focus on Chinese culture, and it focuses on the main character Monkie Kid and his friends battling against the Demon Bull King and his army of bull clones. Monkie Kid is the main protagonist, and he's a young noodle shop delivery boy. I actually hadn't heard about this, and there isn't much else to say about it, but yeah, it's interesting. It was the first time I'd ever heard about this. And this concludes layer 2 of the iceberg. The first item on this layer sort of confused me in the sense that there wasn't really much I could find about it. It's literally just the LEGO Creator Set 10268 Vestas Wind Turbine. There's really not much to it that I could find. It's literally just a $200 to $350 Lego set, depending on where you get it from. That's literally just a wind turbine Lego set. Not really much else that I could find about it. This next item on the list is another mobile game for iOS and Android, Lego Tower. It's really just a game where you work on building a Lego tower that minifigures work in, and you can upgrade it and just expand throughout the game. There's not really much else I know about it. This is actually the first time I've figured out about this game, because I don't spend a lot of time playing on Lego mobile games, but I mean, this was somewhat interesting. It's really just an average mobile game. This next entry on the list is just a Lego animated movie, The Adventures of Clutch Powers. It's nothing special. It's basically just like the Lego Batman movies or whatnot. It's just one of the animated films. It was made in 2010, and it's about Clutch Powers and his team of adventurers basically battling this evil wizard and this army so that they can save a medieval world. There's not really much to say about it. It's basically just your typical CGI Lego film. After a good bit of research on this, Bonk Lore basically refers to this character from Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, who's a big fig, who's part of the bad guys in the game. He's a member of the Jokers, which is a biker gang that's surrounding the Joker, and I guess the significance is that though he appeared in the game, he was never actually an official licensed Lego figurine or big fig. He just sort of made an appearance. As for the lore, he's just a villain from what I can find. There isn't really too much I could figure out about him. Sort of a mystery. This one's sort of self-explanatory, but I guess I'll give a brief explanation for those of you guys who aren't major Ninjago fans. Basically, Ninjago was meant to end in 2013 as the series, but due to fan support and fan demand, it came back in 2014 for more seasons. That's really all there is to say about it. Zack the Lego Maniac was a series of Lego commercials that premiered in the early 90s to promote Lego sets of various kinds, featuring a character by the name of Zack the Lego Maniac, who was often seen building things and playing with them, just to sort of promote the company's products. And according to Wikipedia in 2016, he got his own exclusive Lego minifigure. But that's basically all he was just some sort of promoting character at the time. I was a little bit thrown off whenever I first started researching this topic, but then come to figure out it's basically just referring to Lego ideas. The word CUUSOO is like the original starting line name for it because according to some research that I did, it was a Japanese word, but it's basically just Lego ideas because the word refers to like daydreams or fantasy, and Lego CUUSOO is basically just Lego ideas. That's why so many Lego ideas popped up whenever I looked this up. And that's basically all it is. And for those of you guys who don't know what Lego ideas is, it's basically just a line of Lego sets where a certain build idea gets like enough votes and then it becomes a real set, and if it's successful enough it might get its own line. And that's how a lot of Lego themes have come to be nowadays. This next entry is about LEGO Dimensions, which was a popular video game a couple years ago. It started in September of 2015 and basically follows the idea of like a bunch of LEGO themes crossing over into one major big build-up of a game. And it was made for PlayStation 4, 3, Wii U, Xbox One, and the Xbox 360. It was a pretty cool concept. It had these console expansions where you could put literal LEGO builds on and they'd appear in the game. It was pretty awesome, but sadly got discontinued in October of 2017. The final entry on this layer refers to, well, James May's Lego house. Basically, in 2009, this guy, James May, built a life-sized house out of Lego bricks. It was pretty cool. It actually had rooms and whatnot in it and was built entirely out of Lego bricks, but it sadly got torn down not long after. But he did write a book about it and published it in its name that gave the vision of the house being built. It's pretty cool. I recommend you look up some videos about it. It's really awesome to see, and it's cool that someone took the time to make that. Now for this first entry on the layer, I did a bit of researching and digging around, thinking that there was more to it, but no, it's really just referring to the fact that Clutch Powers appeared in an episode of Ninjago, and got his own minifigure Ninjago Lego set. He may have appeared in more than one, but all I picked up is really that he made an appearance in the show and got his own minifigure because of it. That's really all there is to it. This entry is just talking about the fact that a character named Bionicle was originally going to appear in the LEGO Movie 2, the second part, alongside Rex Dangervest, and the design of Bionicle resembled Takanuva from LEGO Bionicle, but the character got scrapped along with many other character ideas for the movie. It's a shame, it would have been cool. Pantsahat is a stop-motion artist on YouTube who makes a lot of brick films as well as claymations and other regular stop-motion animations. He's been making videos since about 2009 and continues to make them up until today, his most recent upload being just about 3 weeks ago. He's really good at what he does. I recommend if you guys haven't seen him, you go and check it out because it's worth looking at. He's really talented in what he does and his videos are pretty funny. LEGO Multiverse is apparently an upcoming 2023 LEGO action game that's in the works. The fandom article for it reads that it is a spiritual successor and follow-up to LEGO Dimensions and LEGO Dimensions Mystify Mad Games. It's a crossover between several different media franchises while excluding the sort of toys-to-life aspect of the former game in favor of different elements such as fighting, racing, and cards collectibles. This is what fandom says about the game. It's kinda cool to read about. I actually hadn't heard of this prior to reading this on the Iceberg, so it's interesting to see. We'll be getting another LEGO game. Hopefully it'll be cool. It sounds interesting. LEGO Rewind is a series on the YouTube channel Nick on Planet Ripple. It's basically a group of videos that go over a bunch of LEGO themes or LEGO things that have happened in the past. Based on what I've seen, it goes over mostly themes, and then also just, I guess, historical LEGO events as well. He has quite the selection of videos to choose from that go over a lot of things that have to do with LEGO's history. It seems pretty interesting. I haven't seen it myself, but for those of y'all watching, y'all should go check this out, because I probably will as well. LEGO Heroica was basically this board game that was made in 2011. It had a couple of different sets that you could buy with it, and you could sort of combine them together into one game. I don't remember how exactly you played it, and I couldn't really find playing instructions for it on Wikipedia, but it was basically, in essence, just a LEGO board game. It had these cool little micro figures that you could use as your characters, and there was like a dice that you rolled. And you could combine it into several different types of formations if you bought the expansions. It seemed pretty cool of a concept at the time. Seatron was an unreleased LEGO theme that was supposed to have been a follow-up to the sub-theme of LEGO Space if it had been released, but sadly it was just an utter failure and never really got picked up. It was supposed to be about spacemen on an alien planet, undersea, and whatnot, but it never picked up, and it's kind of sad. It seems like it could have been a good theme, but I guess LEGO sort of executed it improperly. It's a shame. The Magic Portal is what I can mostly describe as the world's first brick film. It's a 1985 short film that has a runtime of 16 minutes, and it was filmed in LEGO stop-motion animation. It's basically about the spaceman who finds this portal on the spaceship he's on, and it brings him into what is described as the real world according to fandom. It's pretty good. It was released to the internet finally in 2003 and uploaded to YouTube in 2008. So for those of you guys who haven't seen it, I'd go check it out. It's pretty interesting, though it gives off sort of an eerie vibe because of how old it is. But other than that, it's a really great brick film work. I enjoy it. That concludes Layer 4 and Part 1 of this iceberg video. I'm deciding to split it up into 2 parts because if not, it's just going to get simply into too long of one single video, and you guys aren't normally used to that kind of content on this channel. The next few layers are probably going to go more in depth with stuff, and it will make for an extremely long video that will just simply take too much time to edit and upload in one piece. So I'll make it into 2 parts. I gave a warning at the beginning of this video that stuff was going to get maybe disturbing based on what I'd seen in other icebergs, but it really won't, so don't worry about that in the next video. It's mainly just mysteries, theories, and whatnot, so nothing to really worry about there. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of this video. Thanks.